The quotient rule in calculus is a rule that you really cannot avoid. The idea really is if you have a function f, which you have to differentiate, and that f of x can be written as the quotient of two functions, meaning to say, if I have a function f of x, which can be written like this, f of x equals to u of x over v of x. And let's make one up very quickly. Let's say I had a function like this, f of x were equal to 6x over x squared plus 4. In this case, looking at that function I just wrote in black, u of x would be 6x, and v of x would be x squared plus 4. Now, a very important thing I'll point out here, the denominator here cannot be equal to 0, of course, otherwise the function would not be defined. Now, going back to what we were writing in blue here, if I have a function f of x equal to u of x over v of x, then the derivative function f dash of x is going to be equal to u dash of x times v of x minus u of x times v dash of x. And all of that is written over v squared x. And remember, we write v squared x is the same thing as v of x in parentheses squared. It's just a shorter way of writing it. So looking at the example that we wrote in black, we have u of x equals to 6x, and therefore u dash of x would be equal to 6. We also have v of x, which is equal to x squared plus 4, and so v dash of x would be equal to 2x. In other words, our function, which we wrote earlier on, f dash of x, remember, is u dash of x v of x minus u of x v dash of x, and all of that expressed over v of x squared. So replacing u dash by what we just found here, that would be 6 times x squared plus 4 minus 6x times 2x. And all of that would be expressed over x squared plus 4 squared. Distributing that 6 across that bracket there, that would lead us to 6x squared plus 24 minus 12x squared. And again, all of that would be x squared plus 4 squared. I don't expand the bracket on the denominator, because the fact that it's squared tells me that it's positive, and that will be important at a later stage in our studies. I simplify the numerator as much as I can, and that will lead us to negative 6x squared plus 24 over x squared plus 4 squared. And we're done. That's f dash of x, given that f of x was equal to 6x over x squared plus 4.